Welcome back to the Becoming Number One podcast, where our goal and mission is to help you become the best version of yourself while we are on our own pursuit to become the best versions of ourselves.
Welcome back, professional whooper.
I am a professional whooper. I now have a whoop. I am a part of the family.
Yep, it's twinning.
I am now gay.
He got a little self-conscious. He had his charger on this, and he needed to take it off so he didn't look like a...
Yeah, I didn't want to have a box on
like
my
a
wrist.
chump. It is. It's pretty hefty. It's like wearing a...
It is, actually.
What are the... There used to be these big-ass watches that people would wear sometimes. It wasn't like G-Shocks, but it was like maybe these like Invicta like diving watches that look like you got like a huge clock on your wrist. They're terrible.
Interesting.
Absolutely
It's
terrible.
kind of like the certain people that wear like fake watches. They're not even fake watches. They're probably real, but they try to dress up and wear this big ass watch. It's like a 60 millimeter.
Yeah, it's
just crazy.
Bling. It's bling.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Which is what the Whoop charger looks like. However, that serves a purpose.
Yes, this is what it looks like. But you would think for a company like this that can basically read all my vitals, that they could make the technology to make this a little bit more smaller.
Yeah. That's all right. Thankfully, you don't got to wear it that often. However, I did fall asleep with mine on last night.
Did you?
And
Then why'd you need to charge it this morning?
Well, because the battery only had probably like 20-30% of juice in it. Then I saw yours plugged in and thought, you know what? I might as well take it.
It certainly did.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah, part of the family.
It's a good thing you finally got one. Now I can steal your charger when I forget mine.
Likewise.
Right. Well, we're coming back to you today to talk about regret, to talk about almost, to
I'm
talk
kind of
about
glad
what could have been.
I don't have much insight on where this conversation's going to go today. There was no real outline.
Whoop-de-doo.
I didn't see, at least.
Nope.
But I'm glad we're talking about this because I was having a conversation with a friend today when I went on a walk. Something similar about what you just said, the regret.
What did that conversation look like?
Well, we'll dive into it a little bit and I'll relate it.
All right. Well, if you read the newsletter, which I hope you do, we both hope you do, it was talking about the hidden costs of almost. And to me, I tie almost having the conversation, almost starting the business, almost asking the girl out as regret, as procrastination, as lack of action or inaction. And all of those things are things that hold you back from reaching your highest potential. They hold you back from getting to live the life that you want to. And ultimately, it's one of those things that's like a gate from everything you want. It's all on the other side of almost, right? So I'm going to jump on here and talk about hopefully our experiences with almosts, because we've both had them, but more so what we do instead. Because let's be honest, you don't almost doing something is not doing the thing. Almost is never going to get you to success. You need to turn I almost did it into I fucking did it.
Yep.
So how do we get there? Because a lot of people struggle in that in between.
Well, the way to get there is action, obviously. But the way I can relate this is something that I'm currently working on. I had this idea last week to basically change a whole bunch of things that we're doing with the business and integrate more AI. And I realized, a couple days went by. It was the 4th of July weekend, and I kind of took my foot off the gas a little bit. But that situation could have been an almost where, hey, it's a really good concept. It's a really good idea, and it could work very well and change a lot of things. But I could also not do it. And me not doing it's almost. So I decided today, hey, I'm going to take the next week and I'm going to build it out. And I'm going to do it start to finish. And it could be fucking terrible by the time it's done. It could not work.
Yep.
Right? It could not. And a lot of times things don't work.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And I'm going to see. Because I'm never going to know what the end result's going to be if I don't try.
Exactly. You never would have known what it could have been if you didn't do it.
Exactly. And you also get this sense of reward.
Yep.
The sense of relief once you, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this. I'm going to strive to get here. Once you try and you go on the trip of doing so, you usually feel a little bit better about yourself, or you gain confidence because you know Like, hey, I can do the things that I say I'm going to do based off of this track record that I have. And you get the sense of relief. And it could be shit. And if it's shit, you'll be like, oh, okay, well, at least I tried. Now let me try something else.
That's probably the worst part, in my opinion, of almost doing something is you have no idea if it would have failed or if it would have succeeded. And so you're always caught. And that's where the fucking regret comes in. That's where you're always caught wondering what could have been.
Yeah, it's kind of like FOMO.
I think it leads to FOMO, because if you become the person who almost does things but never actually does anything, that means you never fail, you never win. Then you're going to be the person who's just sitting by, letting everybody else, letting your life go by, but watching everybody else live their lives. And you're going to be wondering, fuck, this person did this.
Yeah.
And usually when we're in that seat, you're going to hyperfixate on all the wins that other people had.
For sure.
Right.
But what they don't know is that person, it took that person 1,000 different things to get that one thing right.
Yeah. That person failed time and time and time again, but you're only going to see the wins.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a terrible way to live life, never experiencing anything. And I mean, like you said, with this thing that you're doing this week, you could get to the end of the week and just kind of blown it all.
Yeah, we could look at it and it could be complete shit.
What
the fuck's this?
This doesn't work. Or, okay, this is not going to be what I thought it was going to be, but at least you did it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can turn into something that, hey, we should actually package this and we should sell this. And then it can turn into a 7-figure business. But we don't know any of those things until we try doing it. So I think the idea or the concept that you guys have to have in mind is, what is almost? Almost is the lack of inaction, essentially, the lack of trying, the lack of doing. Okay. And then if you look at all this, basically every single successful person out there, they don't have almost, because they take the action and they try things. So when you're at the top of the game, and I'm not saying I'm there, but from what I know, the people that are at the top, they don't have the, oh, well, I almost did this, or, oh, well, I almost had this. They don't have that, because they take massive action over and over and over again.
That's actually a really good point. All of the most successful people, whether it's in business, in sports, in the arts, whatever it is, it's always, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. I might have did this and it failed. I might have did that and it failed. I might have done that and it was a wild success. But you realize it's always, I did this. It's never, I almost did that, or, oh, I thought about doing that. Nobody cares about the shit that you thought about.
Absolutely.
What matters is what you did.
Yep. So I was having this, I'm going to tie in this conversation that I was telling you about earlier. And there's a handful of different things that I can pull from this. So it's funny that we're talking about this today. But I told this guy, we'll call him Bob. Okay.
All right, Bob.
I was talking to Bob today, and one of the things I brought up is, hey, on average, the average person comes up with $1 million idea every year, but they don't do anything about it. Did you know that? Have you ever came up with the idea, oh, well, what if I created this app that did X, Y, and Z, and it solved this problem? Like, you had the idea, you just never executed on it. So that's an interesting statistic. But the conversation me and Bob were having today was, he was talking about drinking. He obviously, it's the 4th of July weekend. He felt like shit today because he was drinking all weekend. And he's like, I need to make a change in my life. And one of the things that he was saying was, I keep coming back to this exact feeling where I'm currently at. I drink, and then I get to this next day and I feel like, oh my God, I never want to drink again. But then next weekend I'm at the bar and I'm drinking. And I asked him, I'm like, where does it stem from? I'm like, where does all this start? I'm assuming you probably go out to dinner, then you have a few drinks, and those few drinks, they lead to the bars. And he said, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm like, okay. And how are you feeling right now? He's like, I'm just discouraged. I'm disappointed. And I told him, you're discouraged and you're disappointed because each time you go out and you drink, you're breaking a promise to yourself that you're making. This day, today, you're telling yourself, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to feel this way. And I told him, I'm like, hey, listen, the reason why you feel so discouraged to actually trying and doing it again is because you keep telling yourself that you're going to do it and you don't do it. And he's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, you keep telling yourself that you're going to do something or you're going to make a change and you never do it. So you're literally chipping away at your self-confidence.
I think that's exactly it. I think that the promises that we make to ourselves and whether we keep them or break them largely plays into how we feel about ourselves.
Absolutely. You get confidence from keeping the promises that you make to yourself. You want to build self-confidence, go tell yourself you're going to do, write a list of 10 things, do all of those things.
Yeah.
You'll come back feeling a lot more confident because you're keeping the promises that you make to yourself. That is self-confidence.
And I think on the topic of this episode, one promise that you should make to yourself moving forward is that you are going to do the things that come to mind. You're going to do the things that you tell yourself, I want to try this out. No more maybes, no more almost, no more I should have, I could have, I would have. Start doing shit. Whether it fails, whether it succeeds, just start doing stuff. You're going to become a doer instead of somebody who just sits by on the sidelines. Yep. And at the end of the day, that is so valuable today more than ever because it is so easy to be lazy. It is so easy to sit there and become a fucking couch potato and not contribute anything to not just society, but the people around you and yourself. So this is a wake-up call for us just as much as it is for you. Become a doer. Become somebody who actually lives life instead of just thinking about doing the thing. Because ultimately, I think that what we do leads, it builds this like self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you become a person who does the things they say they're going to do, well, all of a sudden that becomes part of your identity. Yep. And soon enough, you start to reinforce that. It starts to fulfill itself. Once you make that promise to yourself and you keep it once, okay, then you keep it again, then you keep it again. Then all of a sudden, it's like it gets easier and easier and easier, and this persona starts to build.
Yeah. Well, you have to make the identity, and it comes by doing all the things. And then once you have the identity is who you are. And then you're not going to steer off the path of your identity. Like some of your guys' your identity right now is the almost, or sitting on the sidelines, not going to do it. Like that is your identity right now. And the only way to change that is to take action and to do the things. And then you're going to create a new identity.
Really, the way to do it is to make the promise to yourself, I am going to change and actually stick by it.
Yep. Yeah. Because you can create a new identity at any point in time.
Correct.
Yeah, all it does, or the way it starts is you making a decision that you're going to change and then you actually changing. That is it. You just can't change back.
Yeah. And it is so much easier to change back to the path of least resistance, which is being lazy, which is doing the almost, not actually taking action. So know that the cards are stacked against you. It's easier to do that than actually go out and do something.
Of course.
To win, to fail, to everything in between. So realize that. Know that it's not gonna, life isn't easy. Life isn't sunshine and rainbows all the time. By choosing to continue to live life, you are committing and taking on the responsibility of, okay, shit's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy all the time, but pick your hard.
Yeah.
Commit to being a person who is going to hold the promises that they make to themselves and does shit.
It's that simple, but it's not simple because the hard thing is actually maintaining it and doing it over and over again.
It's simple. It's just not easy.
Yes.
It's just not easy.
So don't be the person that's the almost person. And I relate the almost person to the guy sitting at the end of the bar in his hometown 30 years after graduation. And he's, I won that championship.
Talking about the good old days.
The good old days. Or, I almost had the girl. Or, I almost landed the job. Or, I almost got out of here.
Yeah.
Because the more you hold on to that keeps you, in the current situation, you're not thinking forward. You're not moving forward. You're stuck. Right? And if you're stuck, ultimately, you're getting worse. So we don't want to be that. But take massive action because all the most successful people in the world, again, they're not the almost people. No, they're doing it because the work is where the reward is. And if you do the work, you'll get to exactly where you need to be.
I think the almost person lives in the past.
Of course, yes.
And the doer lives in both the present and the future.
Yeah. And the almost person is the person that's most fucked up mentally.
Yes.
That's it. Because they have the most anxiety. They have quote unquote depression because they're stuck in the past. That is it. So if you want to be a positive person, you want to have a great mindset, you don't want to be depressed or have anxiety, do the things that you say you're going to do. Think forward in the future, right? Plan out, map it out, get a game plan and take action. Run the play. Because when you run the play, you're going to feel really good about yourself. It doesn't matter if it's a huge failure or a big success. The feeling is in the work that you're doing. That's the feeling. That's where you get the confidence, is the work.
We're not going to make this more complex or difficult than it is. At the end of the day, the message is clear. Don't live in the past. Don't be a person who sits by and says almost. Be the person who does the things they say they're going to do and become a doer. Live your life instead of letting fucking someone else live it for you. You got anything else for us?
That's it.
We appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Give us the feedback that you can.
Yeah, give us some love.
Give us some love.
Give us some love.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you next week.